Marking a decade without Yogi with storms and swaps in Hong Kong, there's a Calypso Cloud for Nasdaq, and down under it's the ASX PermaCrisis. My name is Patrick L. Young. Welcome to the Bourse Business Weekly Digest. It's the Exchange Invest Weekly Podcast, episode 315. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is a very brief reduction of highlights amongst the headlines in the week in market structure. All the analysis of the many events and happenings from the past 7 days can be found in Exchange Invest's daily subscriber newsletter, the unique guide to the Bourse business sent daily to your inbox. More details at exchangeinvest.com. Over in Parish Notes a decade ago, on Wednesday, September the 24th, 2015, as we all convened for one of the final SFOA Bergenstock meetings in Geneva on this occasion, the passing of Yogi Berra enabled a unique guest editing by the late, great baseball legend. How to surmise? Well, as Yogi observed, if the world were perfect, it wouldn't be. Why not pop by exchangeinvest.com, start a free trial and see Yogi's Bourse Hith for yourself in Exchange Invest issue 596. Over in BitCarnage, we were talking about the unsettled side of stable coins from Jeff Cutler of Garp. Also, incidentally, an IPO-VID alumnus, episode 16, his journey from ATMs to cryptocurrencies was a great discussion. Anyway, the unsettled side of stable coins is simply a must-read for a better understanding of the quirks of this concept. If you enjoyed this excerpt, you may be interested to know you can read BitCarnage every day and Exchange Invest. Alternatively, if you want to follow BitCarnage, a daily update on happenings in the world of crypto and digital assets, you can find it as a standalone on Substack. This week in exchanges, merged London Stock Exchange and Nasdaq to save the city market, says a fintech's boss. Will this trigger antitrust given Nasdaq's EU holdings, I wonder? An interesting pointer. The trouble for me is that the rampant mismanagement of ODD and his dismal team have left for me the mega cue of why bother buying a franchise where the best bits will flow semi-smoothly to the USA anyway? That issue was exemplified days later when AstraZeneca abandoned Nasdaq ADRs in a London Stockholm listing to become a NYSE listed stock. Has LSE any value now away from the G? Hats off to Hong Kong exchanges, incidentally, who maintained trading through the super typhoon Rahasa last week. Well, the first swaps of a new era are out there in the SAR as Hong Kong firms tap new Swap Connect rule to hedge yuan rate risks, and LME got 3 additional new warehouses approved in Hong Kong. Thanks for listening to Exchange Invest Weekly. We welcome your feedback. You can contact me directly, patrick@derivativesvision.com, with any comments. Meanwhile, if you enjoyed this show, we would welcome you giving us a thumbs up. Or if you have time, a positive review will always be welcome, wherever you find this podcast. In branding news, the LSEG, they've dropped the London Stock Exchange imagery from the group website. This again raised the question, how long before LSEG disposes of LSE and becomes just G? Well, Deutsche Börse adds social media to surveillance left me wondering if that means we might get a reply to our outstanding queries. Clearstream, meanwhile, has reinforced its commitment to Europe by rebranding its Germany-based CSD to Clearstream Europe. The damning indictment of the week, however, was from the Australian Central Bank with its assessment of ASX clearing and settlement facilities, where assessment could easily be construed as ASX is failing. ASX is now in PermaCrisis. The next step is to clean house. The board and C-suite all have to go if ASX is to survive in any form, and the form that remains will likely be several broken up components. Miami International Holdings, they announced a timeline to support trading of financial futures on MIAX futures. If MIAX can find the right product mix, they have considerable potential to expand further. Meanwhile, SEBI are likely to settle key NSE cases by early October, clearing a path for a mega IPO. That means, of course, it's probably going to be another 8 or 9 months thereafter, but at least, finally, something we've been waiting for longer than a generation looks likely to happen. Don't forget, if you fancy some financial insights with moving pictures, you check out our live stream Tuesdays 5 o'clock London, midday New York time. It's the IPO-VID live show. Catch the back episodes on LinkedIn and YouTube via IPO-VID. This week we had a magnificent panel with Hamish Adurian and Birgit Daniel Davis, and while they were discussing markets and IT, we got a more focused single guest this week, Hayden van der Post. He's going to talk about quantum finance. Our finance book of the week is Bank on Your Neighbour, a people-first real estate strategy to build wealth together by Mel Dorman, who was our guest recently on IPO-VID, and really must-watch show that. This is a radical, practical guide to seller financing and community-based investing written for everyday people who are ready to reclaim financial power. Over in products, new infrastructure supporting the evolution of the ETF market in Japan, the launch of ETF creation and redemption platform CredNext. Euronext have launched an innovative suite of fixed income derivatives on the main European government bonds. A battle with Eurex and ICE is breaking out alongside the euro yield curve, just as credit. A battle with Eurex and ICE is breaking out along the euro yield curve, just as creditworthiness becomes a key factor amongst euro sovereign issuers. Meanwhile, a singular lack of any issuance since 2013 certainly suggests there needs to be some rethinking of the product. Thus, SEC seeks public comment to improve rules on residential mortgage-backed securities and asset-backed securities. In technology news, great week for Nasdaq. Uzbekistan's exchange, Toshkent, is going to be partnering with Nasdaq. A very handy win there for the US-based vendor. And also Nasdaq and AWS are going to advance capital markets and banking infrastructure across the financial system with a mega deal to move Calypso, a key banking software, forward in the cloud. Quite a revolution for the whole banking cap market side of software. Over in Lahore, the SEC Pakistan has signed an MOU with the Pakistan Stock Exchange to get direct access to their new surveillance system, which was acquired by PSX from the Shenzhen Stock Exchange. And finally, but by no means least, also news from Pakistan. Pakistan's launched an EOD market data product via the Deutsche Börse platform. Career path this week, there's been reports that the White House was mulling putting SEC Chair Paul Atkins in charge of the CFTC, a very peculiar precedent which was instantly denied by all parties, both the CFTC and the SEC, including Chairman Atkins himself. Merging SEC and CFTC remains a dangerous remedy. Meanwhile, in a move which caught all the gossip columns by surprise and left the rest of us savouring a true retro's 1980s moment, retired Colonel Oliver North married Fawn Hall in secret in Arlington County, Virginia on August the 27th to mark an intriguing coda to the history of Iran-Contra. And indeed, finally, of all, this week, I'm still highly entertained by the notion that the Snow White remake had a larger carbon footprint than the last Fast and Furious movie. And on that mysterious and magnificent note, thank you for listening to this Exchange Invest Weekly Podcast number 315. Join us daily via exchangeinvest.com, or if you're in the exchange marketplace you'd like built, get in touch. My name is Patrick L. Young, and I wish you a great week in life and markets.
This show relates to the business of bourses. It is not to be construed as investment advice, nor are we making any investment recommendations. Please consult an investment advisor before you make any investments, and for goodness sake, do your due diligence and do not make investments without complying with the regulations in your home state. Exchange Invest cannot be held responsible for any investment decisions made as a result of our program, which is for entertainment purposes only. The material herein is copyright Patrick L. Young at the date of publication, while our music and sound effects are sourced from copyright-free sources. Thanks for listening to Exchange Invest Weekly, the exchange of information.